Hi all, a warm welcome to each and every student who is listening to some of the beautiful techniques developed by ANC team. Now in this today's session, we will discuss a very important topic on heights and distances. We will discuss some beautiful questions on heights and distances. We will see how easily we can solve other than the textbook methodologies which usually will be given in so many other YouTube channels, so many other textbooks. We will try to implement a completely different methodology to solve the questions. We will also see how our textbook uses the method so that we will understand the difference between that method and the method what I am teaching you in today's class. Let us start with this today's beautiful session on heights and distances, which is extremely important for many examinations. This heights and distances is a continued part of our trigonometry class. As I have already taken trigonometry class, covering multiple models in trigonometry, I believe that you are comfortable with some of the standard angles of trigonometry and some of the standard values of trigonometry with respect to sine of the angle, cosine of the angle and tangent of the angle. Keeping all those things in our mind, let us start with this beautiful topic on heights and distances. Now listen to this carefully, sir. Now I am sure that you know this concept which we also discussed in coordinate geometry. This is the coordinate axis. In this coordinate axis, this axis is called as x-axis. X-axis is also referred to as horizontal line. X-axis is also referred to as horizontal line. Similarly, this axis is called as y-axis. Y-axis is also referred to as vertical line. I am sure that you are aware of this concept. X-axis is also referred to as horizontal line and y-axis is also referred to as vertical line. Now, suppose for example, there is a person. I am just drawing the eye of a person, not the entire person I will be drawing here. I am just drawing the eye of a person. Suppose this is the eye of a person. Now, this person, he is looking absolutely straight. He is not looking any other way. He is absolutely straight in his eyesight. If he is looking absolutely straight, this line whatever I have drawn in the dotted form, this line is called as the line of sight of that person, or because it is the horizontal line which I have drawn right now, it is also called as horizontal line of sight. In simple, you can call it as line of sight. You can also call it as horizontal line of sight. Now, this horizontal line is whatever I have written is called as horizontal line of sight when the person is absolutely straight in looking. He is not deviating his eyeballs here and there. He is completely, absolutely 100% straight in his viewpoint. That is called as horizontal line of sight. Now, suppose for example there is an object here, right? Suppose for example there is an object here. Now, that person wants to look at this object right now. At present his sight is absolutely horizontal or absolutely straight, but the object is not absolutely straight at the present moment. It is somewhere little upward. That means he need to change his eyesight from horizontal line of sight to this sight so that he can see that particular object. That means he is seeing this object in this particular sight right now. That means his eyeballs has moved little upward so that he can see that object. Now, what I am trying to say in this case is there is a horizontal line of sight which I have drawn and there is some other line which I have drawn wherein the person is looking from his eyesight to that object. Whatever the angle which is made with respect to the horizontal line of sight and the line of sight towards the upward angle or the looking at the object, that particular angle is called as angle of elevation. I am sure that you know the meaning of elevation. Elevation is nothing but moving upward. That means you might have gone in elevators in some malls and other things. It is moving upward. Elevation is nothing but moving upward. Similarly, suppose if the object is somewhere here. Now, this is in the downward direction toward the line of sight. That means if I compare with the line of sight, this object is down of line of sight. Now, now. His eyeballs should oscillate to the downward direction right now. Earlier it was in the upward direction because the object was up. Now it is in the downward direction because the object is down. That means from his eyesight he will start looking at this object like this downwards. Now this downward line whatever I have written is also making some angle with respect to this horizontal line of sight. Suppose I call that angle as alpha. This alpha is called as angle of depression. Elevation is nothing but moving upward. Depression is nothing but moving downward. That means if the line of sight is down with respect to the horizontal line of sight, then that angle made with the horizontal line of sight with the downward sight is called as angle of depression. The angle made with the horizontal line of sight with the upward sight is called as angle of elevation. Elevation is nothing but up. Depression is nothing but down. In simple language you can remember like this, sir. I hope the idea is very clear. Your angle is always taken with respect to the horizontal line. Please remember this very carefully. These are the only two types of angles you will get in your entire heights and distances. One is angle of elevation, which is nothing but the angle made with the line of sight when the object is upward the horizontal line of sight. When the object is downward the horizontal line of sight, the angle made is called as angle of depression. Simple way of remembering. Upward is horizontal, what is that? Elevation. Downward is a depression. I hope this point is very clear for you people. Now these are the only two types of angles that you will get in entire heights and distances. Now moving forward, what are the two types of right angle triangles you will be getting in this entire, what do you say, like heights and distances topic? Two types of right angled triangles. First thing that you need to know is when I told you in trigonometry, when I taught you trigonometry, I told you that trigonometry is applicable only for a right angled triangle, and I also told you at the beginning of this class that heights and distances is a continued part of trigonometry. That means heights and distances is also applicable only for right angled triangles. I believe that you are able to understand. You cannot take an acute angle or an obtuse angle triangle and solve a heights and distance problem. You should make use of right angle triangle. Now suppose for example, first type of right angle triangle is, let me draw a triangle for you people so that you will be clear in understanding. I hope before I move on to these two types of right angle triangle, these are all very clear for you people. Now see here, sir, let me draw a right angle triangle. Just to give me a minute for me. Now suppose for example, this is the right angle triangle. Listen carefully, please pay attention here. This is the right angle triangle whatever I am trying to draw. Suppose for example, this is the right angle triangle whatever I am trying to draw. Now in this right angle triangle, I am sure that you know this. If I name this as A, B and C, if I name this as A, B and C, this angle B is the perpendicular line which is nothing but 90 degrees. Suppose for example, if angle A is 30 degrees, if angle A is 30 degrees, sorry, if angle C is 30 degrees, now what should be angle A? Angle A should be 90 plus 30 is 120. Sum of three angles in a triangle is 180. Angle A should be 60 degrees. That means the first type of right angle triangle is, it is 30 degrees, 60 degrees and 90 degrees. 30 degrees, 60 degrees and 90 degrees is the first type of right angle triangle which we are interested in discussing. Now listen to this carefully, sir. Suppose for example, I want to find tangent of the angle 30. What is tan 30? Tan theta is nothing but opposite by adjacent. Opposite side of 30 degrees is AB. Adjacent side of 30 degrees is BC. It is AB divided by BC. Tan 30 value is nothing but 1 by root 3. 1 by root 3 is nothing but AB by BC. That means, can I say that AB value is nothing but 1. AB value is nothing but 1. BC value is nothing but root 3. Now, if AB is 1 and BC is root 3, how to find the hypotenuse? Hypotenuse AC is nothing but square root of 1 square plus root 3 whole square. AC value is root 4, which is nothing but 2. That means in simple language, for you to remember to solve our problems, we will not solve our problems in the way it is given in textbook. We will slightly change our way so that without using so many steps which is given in textbook, we can solve the problem by just drawing the diagram. That is how I will teach you in all the problems of heights and distances. In simple language, I will say that the side which is opposite to 30 degrees, keep it as 1 unit. The side which is opposite to 60 degrees, keep it as root 3, and then the hypotenuse will become 2. That means if the side opposite to 30 is 1 unit, then if you make the side opposite to 30 degrees as 1 unit, then definitely the side which is opposite to 60 degrees will become root 3 units, and definitely the hypotenuse will become 2 units. That means hypotenuse is nothing but the side which is opposite to 90 degrees. That means 30, 60 and 90 degrees kind of a triangle will always be in the ratio. The sides will be in the ratio 1 is to root 3 is to 2. Very, very important point. This is the point which we will make use of in our problem solving. Whenever your side is opposite to 30 degrees, if you assume it as 1, then definitely the side which is opposite to 60 degrees will be root 3 units, and definitely the side which is opposite to 90 degrees will be 2 units. In which kind of triangle it is valid? It is valid in a right angle triangle of the form 30 degrees, 60 degrees and 90 degrees. This is first type of right angle triangle. I believe the idea is very, very clear for you people. The side ratio in 30, 60, 90 is 1 is to root 3 is to 2. You will understand where to use this in our problem solving. Do not worry about it. Second type of right angle triangle is, it is 45 degrees and 90 degrees. That means there is another type of right angle triangle which is very frequently coming in the examination. That is nothing but, if I call angle B as 90 degrees, angle C if I name it as 45 degrees for example, then angle A also should be remaining 45, because 90 plus 45 is 135. Sum of 3 angles is 180, so angle A should also be 145 degrees. That means 45, 45, 90. Same thing. If I apply tan C for this, tan C is nothing but opposite is AB divided by adjacent is, opposite by adjacent, it is BC. Tan C value is 45. Tan 45 value, this is equal to tan 45. Tan 45 value is equal to 1. So this is nothing but AB by BC is equal to 1. So AB is equal to BC, or in simple language, if I assume AB value to be 1, what is AB? What is AB? AB is, or if I assume BC value to be 1, then AB value will also be equal to 1, because it's an isosceles triangle, isosceles right angled triangle to be very precise. 45, 45, 90 means two angles are same. If two angles are same means then their corresponding sides also should be same. That means if this side is 1 unit, then definitely this side also will be 1 unit. That does not mean that this side should always be taken as 1. You take any value here, the same value will hold good here also. That is the meaning of it. Now hypotenuse, how to find it? Hypotenuse is nothing but AC is equal to square root of 1 square plus 1 square. So this value will become root 2. That means in simple language, for a 45, 45, 90 degree right angled triangle, the side ratio will always be in the ratio of 1 is to 1 is to root 2. Very important, sir. These are all extremely important points before I start solving the actual questions in heights and distances, and you will understand how easily the problems will be simplified to a greater extent using all these concepts. If it is 30, 60, 90 degrees, side ratio will be 1 is to root 3 is to 2. That means opposite to 30 degree, please assume it as 1. If you assume as 1, the side opposite to 60 will definitely be root 3. The hypotenuse will definitely be 2 in case of 30, 60, 90 degrees right angle triangle. In case of 45, 45, 90, the two sides will be equal, where the corresponding angles which are equal, the two sides will be equal, and the other side opposite to 90, which is hypotenuse, will be root 2 units. Now I believe that you are very clear with this logic, whatever we have discussed it till now. I hope the idea is clear for you people, sir. Now moving further, now suppose for example, let me take a right angle triangle once again. Let me keep explaining you as much as possible. Now suppose for example, there is a person standing at this point. This is a person, right? This is a person. His eyesight is, there is an object which is written here, right? Or which is there here. There is an object. He is looking with this eyesight, which I am marking right now in black color, right? Which I am marking. This is the eyesight of the person to see that particular object. Now see here, sir. Can I say that this angle is 90 degrees because it is perpendicular? Now suppose this is 60 degrees. Suppose this is 60 degrees. Now think little logically. Can I say that object is at this point? Object is at this point. Person is standing here. Now the person kept on moving like this, right? He kept on moving in like this, and he is right now at this point. The person is right now at this point. Now can I say that now from the person to the object, this will be the line of sight, right? This will be the line of sight. This angle, suppose I will take it as 30 degrees. That means in simple language, or let me write it one more thing for you so that you will understand better. Person kept on moving like this again, and he is right now at this point, right? This is again a person. He is right now at this point. The line of sight will be this line of sight. Now this angle is something called, suppose I am just writing some example, 15 degrees. That means the person initially was at this point. He kept, object is stationary at this point. The person kept on moving away from the object. The person kept on moving away from the object. If the person kept on moving away from the object, initially the angle of elevation is nothing but the angle between the horizontal line and the upward direction of the line of sight. So that is angle of elevation. Initially the angle of elevation was 60 degrees. Now when he started moving, after some point, the angle of elevation became 30 degrees. Again as he started moving, after some point it became 50 degrees. That means if the person moves away from the object, then it is nothing but angle of elevation will decrease. Very important point. Angle of elevation decreases if the person keeps moving away from the object. If the person keeps moving away from the object, angle of elevation will decrease. Similarly, the reverse statement is also true. Suppose this is the right angle triangle, diagram not drawn to the scale. This is 90 degrees. Suppose assume that this is 60 degrees. This is the position of a person. This is the position of a person, and this is the position of an object. The line of sight angle of elevation initially 60 degrees. Now what I will do is, the person kept on moving like this. He came to this point. Now the angle of elevation, it will be somewhere around 75 degrees. Angle of elevation is increasing if the person is moving towards the object. He kept moving. At some point he might come at this point also, where it becomes 90 degrees. That means to see that particular object, the person should raise his head exactly perpendicular to the object. That is the meaning of 90 degrees. I hope you are able to understand it, sir. That means, can I say that if a person is moving away from the object, angle of elevation decreases. If a person is moving towards the object, angle of elevation will increase. These are all very important points, sir. I am telling you all the important key points before I start the problem itself, so that while solving the problem you should not get any confusions. I hope the idea is very clear for you people. If the person is moving away from the object, angle of elevation will decrease. If the person is moving towards the object, angle of elevation will increase. Now if you remember, we did 30, 60, 90 degree angle, right angle triangle, we took care of it. Similarly, we also learnt 45, 45, 90 degrees right angle triangle. Now, suppose assume that there is a right angle triangle like this. Let me explain you in the way you understand it. Suppose there is a person here. There is an object which is present here, right? There is an object which is present here. Now, the angle of elevation initially, suppose assume that it is 30 degrees, right? Assume that it is 30 degrees. Now, the person kept on moving like this. He kept on moving towards the object. Now the person is at this point. Now, I told you that if the person is moving towards the object, angle of elevation will increase. That means now at this point, assume that I am just taking some numerical example for your understanding. Angle of elevation is 60 degrees. Now, this is a kind of triangle which will come in your examination. These kind of questions also will come in the examination, where in a single diagram you have 30, 60 degrees, and therefore you want to solve these questions in the most easiest format. Let us see how to solve it. That means the kind of explanation what I told you here, it is only one triangle which is there, only one right angle triangle which is there, where it is 30, 60 and 90. But here in this case, I am making it as 30 and 60 with two right angle triangles. If you observe, there is a bigger triangle. Let me name this so that it will be easier for you to understand. If I call the bigger triangle as ABC, angle C is 90 degrees. Yes, ABC is one right angle triangle, ADC is another right angle triangle. Now, in ABC there is 30 degree, in another smaller right angle triangle ADC there is 60 degrees. This kind of triangles also will come in your examination. Now, think little logically how to solve this kind of questions. Let us understand right now. Now, please listen to this carefully, sir. Everyone please pay attention. Now, if I take the smaller triangle initially, smaller triangle is, okay, let me write it here. Smaller triangle is triangle ADC. I am writing all these things only for your understanding. So, triangle ADC is the smaller right angle triangle. Angle C is 90. Angle D is 60. So, angle A should be how much? Angle A should be remaining 30. Now, this formed 30, 60 and 90 degree triangle which I already discussed. That means opposite to 30 degree whatever side is there, I will call that side as 1. If opposite to 30 degrees the side is 1, then opposite to 60 degrees the side will become root 3, because the side ratio is 1/8 to root 3:2. Forget about the hypotenuse. So, this side if it is 1, then this side will automatically become root 3. That means let this DC be equal to 1. This is not problem, sir. I am explaining you concept to solve problems later on. I will assume the value of DC as 1. I am not interested in solving in the textbook method, so I am using all these methods to help you to solve the problems easier in the next few minutes of our class. Excuse me, sir. I am sorry. Assume the value of DC as 1. If DC is equal to 1, definitely the value of AC will be equal to root 3. If DC value is equal to 1, definitely AC value will be equal to root 3. Now, that is for a bigger right angle triangle. Can I say that that is for a smaller right angle triangle? can I say that if I take the bigger right angle triangle is ABC. The bigger right angle triangle is ABC. Angle C is 90 degrees. Angle B is 30 degrees. So angle A should be how much? Remaining 60 degrees. Now think little logically, sir. Think little logically. Opposite to 30. I told you that in a 30, 60, 90 right angle triangle, opposite to 30, if it is 1, then opposite to 60 will be root 3, right? Will be root 3. That means if the side opposite to 30 is 1, if it is 1, it's an if condition, sir. Please understand. If 1 pen is costing 5 rupees, 7 pens will cost how many rupees? If. Do not underestimate that word called as if. If the side opposite to 30 is 1, then only the side opposite to 60 will be root 3. But in this triangle, whatever I have taken, the side opposite to 30 is not 1. It is root 3. That means side opposite to 30 is not 1, but it is root 3. 1 should become root 3 multiplied by root 3. 1 into root 3 is root 3. Similarly, this root 3 also multiplied by root 3. So, root 3 into root 3 is 3. That means if the side opposite to 30 is 1, then the side opposite to 60 will be root 3. But if the side opposite to 30 is root 3, proportionately find it out, sir. There is no big deal in this. If the side opposite to 30 is root 3, then the side opposite to 60 will be 3 units. That means this entire BC value is 3 units. That means, can I say that BC value is 3. Out of this, DC value is 1. So BD value will be remaining 2 units. So this right angle triangle where you will split into 2 triangles of bigger and smaller. In one of them 30 is there, in one of them 60 is there. These are the values that you need to remember. Which are the values, sir? 2 units you need to remember. 1 unit is my assumption. This entire thing is 3 units. This is root 3 units. But you might ask me a question. Sir, remembering those values is slightly difficult, right, sir? That means if we remember so many things, there is a chance that we will get confused. Is it true, sir? Yes. You might get confused if you try to remember everything. So what we will do is, we know that for a 30, 60 and 90, opposite to 30, I will assume it as 1. If question is given some other value, proportionately find it. So let us not try to remember these values. Let us try to proportionate it when it is given in the problems. Simple way of analyzing. Now similarly, that is one kind of triangle which you might get. There is another kind of triangle which you might get. Let us also learn that, sir. The other kind of triangle which you might get is, suppose this is a right angle triangle. The initially angle is 45 degrees, line of sight. Initially the line of sight, this is the object. It is 45 degrees. Now the person kept moving towards the object. This is the position of person right now. The next line of sight angle, the angle of elevation initially was 45. After some time it is 60 degrees. That means, can I say that, suppose if I name it again, this as A, B, C and D, right? It has A, B, C and D. Now see here, same explanation. This is 60, smaller triangle if I take, this is 60, this is 90. So this angle will be 30. So opposite to 30. If I assume CD value as 1 unit, I will assume it as 1 unit, right? I am assuming it as 1. If CD value is 1 unit, opposite to 60 will become root 3 units. So AD value will become root 3. Now this is my assumption. Now proportionately find it. Take the bigger triangle. Bigger triangle is A, B and D. Let me write it for your better understanding. ABD I will take. ABD is the bigger triangle. In this angle D is 90. Angle B is 45 degrees. So angle A also should be 45 degrees. Now this is my second type of triangle which I already taught you sometime before. 45, 45, 90. The angle ratio is 45, 45, 90. Side ratio will be 1:1 root 2. That means it only means that opposite to 45, if I take it as 1, opposite to this 45 also should be 1. But in this triangle, whatever I am teaching you, opposite to this 45, I already got here as root 3. That means opposite to this entire 45, opposite to this entire 45, I should get the entire value as root 3 here. I hope you are able to understand, sir. If BD value is root 3 and CD value is 1, remove that 1 unit from the entire root 3. BC will become root 3 minus 1. That means I told you there is no need to remember all these values which you will get confused if you remember. So let us proportionately find it in our problems whenever it is required. One of the kind of triangle is 30 and 60. Another kind of triangle is 45 and 60. And another kind of triangle which you might get, which I will explain you again, is 30 and 45. I hope you are able to understand. This is the triangle ABC, bigger triangle. Initially the angle of elevation is 30 degrees. After some time it is 45 degrees, for example. Now same logic I will implement once again. This is where the object is present at A. Now you can take any triangle. There is no hard and fast rule that you should always start with a smaller triangle. You can take with bigger also. Now if I take smaller anyway, this is 90, this is 45, so this angle also will be 45. Opposite to 45, I will assume it as 1 unit. This is my assumption. Depending on the value you take, the other values also will change, or in simple language, ratios is what I am writing. If this is 1 unit, AC will also become entire 1 unit. Now why did I take it as 1 and 1? Because if I take the bigger triangle ABC, in bigger triangle ABC, let me write it for you. In bigger triangle ABC, angle B is 30 degrees. So angle A should be 60 because angle C is 90. Opposite, in 30, 60, 90, we know that opposite to 30, if the side is 1 unit, here also the side opposite to 30 is 1 unit only, right, sir? Yes, it is matching. So opposite to 60 will be root 3. That means entire BC value, it is root 3 units. So out of total root 3 units, remove this 1 unit, you will get BD value as root 3 minus 1 unit. So anyway, we will not remember all these values and confuse ourselves in our problem solving. Now let us start solving problems. After you analyze for next 1 minute of time, let us start solving problems and let us see how easily we can solve the problems, sir. Don't worry, I will also teach you method 1 so that you can decide which method is comfortable for you and you can carry forward and take that particular methods whichever you are comfortable. I hope the idea is very, very clear for you. Please visualize for the next 30 seconds at least, sir, and then we will start solving problems in the most easiest way possible. Now let us start solving our problems on heights and distances. Before we start solving problems here, I taught you so many things in my arithmetic topics and some other topics also, which I also told in this class also. A small analogy before start solving the problems. If one pen is costing 5 rupees, what is the cost of 8 pens? That means, please understand this statement very, very carefully, sir. It is said that if at all 1 pen is costing you 1 rupee, if suppose 1 pen is costing you 5 rupees, 8 pens will cost you how many rupees is the question. That means, if is nothing but an assumption. If I assume the cost of 1 pen to be 5 rupees, that is according to my assumption. If I assume the cost of one pen to be 5 rupees, then according to the question, find out how much will 8 pen cost. That means find out everything according to your assumption initially. In the last step, convert according to question. In simple language, 1 is becoming 8. Multiply by 8. 5 also multiply by 8. Sir, what if there is no multiplying factors like this? What if it is something like 8 by 3? 1 is becoming 8 by 3. Again, multiplying factor can be taken as 8 by 3. Or if you don't know the concept of finding the multiplying factor, the simple thing what we have learnt in school days is cross multiplication. Please cross multiply and simplify. The same thing I taught you from the last few minutes of my class. If you see, if AB or if AC is 1 unit, that means if the side opposite to 30 degrees is 1 unit, then the side opposite to 60 degrees will be root 3 unit. In 30, 60, 90 right angled triangle, everywhere it is if and then condition. We will make use of if and then condition to solve our problems. I will assume whatever the value I like and I will proportionately convert it to the question what is being asked. I hope the idea is clear. Please see the first question, sir. Let us start with some easy questions. Slowly scale up the level of difficulty. Your question is the shadow of a vertical tower. That means there is a vertical tower for you. This is the tower, right? This is the tower. This is the vertical tower. The shadow of a vertical tower. Now, this is the shadow of that vertical tower is root 3 times of its height. Now, there is some height for this vertical tower. I don't know the height of this vertical tower. Usually the general notation is to assume the height as x or h or whatever it is, which your textbook will use. Let us not use that methodology of x or h. Now, the shadow of a vertical tower is root 3 times of its height. Find the elevation angle of the sun, right? Find the elevation angle of the sun. That means this is the tower. This is the top of the tower. This is the top of the tower. This is the tip of the shadow of that vertical tower. There is the sun somewhere here, right? There is sun somewhere here. This shadow of this or this rays of the sun will pass like this, right? It will pass like this. Find the angle of elevation. This particular angle is what I need to find. Find the angle of elevation. Now see here. I don't know what is the angle, but what I will do is, instead of taking the height of the tower as h units, I will assume the height of the tower as 1 unit. I will assume it as 1. This is my assumption. Now, think little logically, sir. In a 30-60, first of all, this angle is 90 degrees, which should be very clear for you. In a 30-60-90 degree right angle triangle, if the side opposite to 30 is 1, then the side opposite to 60 will be how much? It will be root 3. That means it is given in the question that the shadow BC of a vertical tower AC is root 3 times of its height. If the height is 1, then the shadow will be root 3 times of 1. Now think little logically. You already got the answer, sir. The answer is, if the side opposite to 30 is 1, yes, the side opposite to this angle is 1 unit, then the side opposite to 60 will be root 3. Yes, the side opposite to 60 is root 3 here. That means this is possible only if I take this angle as 30 degrees. Angle of elevation is 30 degrees. If you see the same question, your textbook will use some other method, which I will teach you those methods in my upcoming problem. Angle of elevation in this very, very easy question is 30 degrees. I hope the idea is clear for you. Let me move forward, sir, so that you will understand the difference between the questions. Like next question, let us keep taking some questions so that it becomes easy for your understanding. Please see the second question, sir. Now just a minute before I solve the second question, just give me 1 minute of time, sir. Suppose I'll come back to that second question, do not worry about it. Okay, now see here. That is the reason I told give me a minute so that I can draft that right angle triangle for you people. Now let us read the question. The thread of a kite is 120-meter long. That means there is a kite which is flying. The thread is nothing but AC. The thread of a kite is 120-meter long and it is making 30-degree angular elevation with the ground. Ground is nothing but BC. BC is nothing but the ground. B angle is 90 degree because it is perpendicular. It is making an angle of elevation of 30 degrees. What is the height of the kite? Height of the kite from the ground level to the top level. What should be the height? This AB value is what they are asking you in the question, right? AB value, height they are asking you H. Now see here, sir. Let us solve it in two methods. Method 1, method 2. You decide the method whichever you are comfortable. Now, I am interested in teaching you method 1 first. Method 1 says that angular elevation is 30 degrees. Apply tangent of that angle. Tan 30 is nothing but opposite by adjacent. Opposite side is H. This is nothing but AB. So opposite side is AB. Adjacent side is nothing but BC. But I don't know the value of BC. Now, which trigonometric function to usually apply? You should usually apply that trigonometric function which will give you both these values. So this H value is something which I require, and this 120 is nothing but the hypotenuse which is given. So opposite is required. Hypotenuse is given. Opposite and hypotenuse, which trigonometric function? So it is sine. Apply sine 30 rather than applying tan 30. So it is opposite ABH. Hypotenuse is 120. Sine 30 value is 1 by 2. 1 by 2 is equal to H divided by 120. 2 into 1, 2 into 60. Height of the kite. H is equal to 60 meters, right? H is equal to 60 meters. This is one of the method by applying either tan 30 or sin 30 or cos 30 by applying trigonometric ratios. Now, without applying these trigonometric ratios, can I solve this question? Definitely you can solve the question. Please listen carefully here, sir. I will teach you how to solve the same question by using method 2 without applying any trigonometric ratio. That means without applying sin, cos or tan. Now see here, method 2 is what I am teaching you right now. Listen carefully, sir. Method 2, same diagram I am trying to write here also, but I am trying to simplify it. So this is nothing but ABC. Height of the kite is what I am finding, which is nothing but AB. So this AC, the length of the string, is given as 120 meter. BC value I don't know. Angle B is 90 degrees. Angle of elevation is given in the question as 30 degrees. Now see here, sir. Think little logically, you will get the answer very soon. Now, can I say that 30 degrees, 90 degrees, the remaining angle should be 60 degrees. For a 30, 60, 90 degree right angle triangle, what should be the side ratio? The side ratio should be 1 is to root 3 is to 2, right? I believe that you remember this. The side ratio should be 1 is to root 3 is to 2. That means, according to my assumption or according to the ratio, the side opposite to 90 degrees is 2 units. But according to the question, the side opposite to 90 degrees is how much according to question? 120 units. 2 is becoming 120. Multiply by 60. 1 also multiply by 60. 1 into 60 is 60 units. Very, very easily we can find it, sir. It will not be anything difficult if you apply method to what I am teaching in the next upcoming problems. You will keep understanding how beautifully, how easily we can solve all these questions by using method 2. Rather than trying to apply some trigonometric identities as tan or whatever. In fact, I taught you 30, 60, 90, 45, 45, 90, all those things. I taught you by taking trigonometric ratio itself, and then only I concluded that conclusion. I believe that you remember that I taught you by using trigonometric functions. So whatever I am teaching you by using side ratio or angle ratio, it is exactly similar to method 1, but we will save a lot of time by using method 2 instead of solving by method 1. I hope the first two questions are very clear for you people. Please see my next question, sir. Please see the next question. Your next question is, first let me explain you the question. A tree was bent by the wind. That means there is a tree like this. This entire thing is a tree, right? This entire thing is a tree. Because of too much of wind, it was bent and it was cut like this. Now, this is the cut part. This is the cut part. There is a continuation which was there earlier. It bent, and then only after this entire line, whatever I have written above, it bent like this. That is what I have written as hypotenuse of this triangle. I believe it is clear. Now, let me continue the next part. The top of the tree meets the ground. This is the top of the tree. That means this cut part, this point is nothing but this point right now. It meets the ground at an angle of 60 degrees. That means it is meeting the ground, horizontal level ground, at an angle of 60 degrees. So this angle is known to us as 60 degrees. This is nothing but 90 degrees because it is the perpendicular one. Next statement, if the distance between the top and the foot of the tree is 8 meters, I told you that this is nothing but the top of the tree which is bent and it is coming down like this, and this is the foot of the tree. The distance between the top and the foot of the tree is 8 meters. The distance according to the question is 8 meters. According to question, the distance is 8 meters. Find the height of the tree. That means height of the tree means, suppose for example, if I name this with some alphabets as A, B and C, this entire thing is a part of the tree, and the cut part of the tree is also AC. That means height of the tree is AB plus BC. This entire value is what we need to find. I believe that you are able to understand the diagram first. AB plus BC is what I am trying to find right now. Now see here, sir. Again, let me rewrite the diagram for you people in my next screen so that I can start applying some trigonometric functions and I can get the answer. This is ABC. Exact diagram I am writing, sir. Do not worry about it. There is no change in the diagram. This is 60, sorry, this is 90, this is 60. So this should be another 30 degrees. Right? Now see here. This is given as 8 meters according to the question. Entire thing what is being given or I explained you, I have written in the next screen so that I will have little space to work out with. AB plus BC, sorry, AB plus AC, right sir, not BC, yes sir. This is the tree, AC. AB plus AC is what I am trying to find. It is not AB plus BC, please apologies for my mistake. It is AB plus AC. AB plus AC is what I am trying to find. Now see here, sir. I will teach you the same problem again in method 1 and also in method 2. Method 1 is the textbook method. Method 2 is ANC method. Now 60 degrees is there, 30 degrees is there. You apply whichever the trigonometric function, preferably the most repeated trigonometric function in heights and distances is tan. Tan 60 is opposite is AB. Adjacent is 8. So tan 60 is AB by 8. Tan 60 value is root 3. Root 3 is nothing but AB by 8. So AB value is nothing but 8 root 3. Right? AB value, I got the value of AB as 8 root 3. One of the value I found it. Now similarly, AC value I require. AC is nothing but the hypotenuse, and this side adjacent to 60 degrees is also known as 8. That means hypotenuse is known, adjacent is known. So it is cos which I need to apply. Cos 60 is nothing but adjacent by hypotenuse. Adjacent is 8, hypotenuse is 8 AC. Cos 60 value is how much? It is half. So AC value is nothing but 2 into 8, which is 16. Now AB value is known, AC value is known. So height of the tree is nothing but AB is 8 root 3 plus AC is 16. Taking common factor, we will get 8 into 2 plus root 3, or 8 into root 3 plus 2 should be the answer for this question. Now, in this method 1, if you observe very carefully in this method 1, I applied tangent of 60. One trigonometric function I applied. I applied another trigonometric function. I got two values and then finally I added. So it is little time consuming process. That is the reason we will switch on to our method 2, which is so simple and elegant way of solving. Once again, I wish to write the same diagram so that you will understand how beautifully we can solve by using method 2. This is 90 degrees, this is 60 degrees. So therefore angle A should be 30 degrees. BC value is given in the question as 8 meters. This is according to the question. Now see here, this triangle, whatever I have got in this question, is a triangle called 30 degree, 60 degree, 90 degree right angle triangle. Angle is 30, 60, 90. So corresponding sides should be in the ratio 1 is to root 3 is to 2. That means the meaning of this is opposite to 30 degrees angle side should be 1 unit. Opposite to 60 degrees side should be root 3 units. Opposite to 90 degrees side should be 2 units. These are according to my assumption. But you cannot solve the question according to whatever you like to assume, beta. You should convert it according to what is being asked. That means, can I say that according to my assumption, opposite to 30 is 1 unit. According to question, opposite to 30 is how many units? 8 units. 1 is becoming 8. Multiply by 8. Now, they are asking you the height of the tree. Height of the tree is nothing but AB, which is nothing but opposite to 60, and AC, which is nothing but opposite to 90. That means height of the tree means I should combine these two values. So the sum of these two values is root 3 plus 2 according to my assumption. But according to the question, how much they are asking. If you are multiplying this value by 8, this also multiply by 8, Kelkatam, answer is 8 into root 3 plus 2, which is exactly what you got in your previous method. There is no difference. But here you will not keep applying the method what you apply in textbooks, where you will keep solving that particular question by using tangent of angle, again take another triangle, again apply tangent or secant or cos or sine or whatever depending on the values which is known. It is a time consuming process if you apply method 1. Method 2 is ratio method, which will save your time to a greater extent, sir. Try implementing method 2. Anyway, I will keep solving some other questions so that I will make sure that you will start using method 2 more than method 1. I hope the idea is clear for my question 3. Excuse me. Now let us solve question number 4. Again a very good question, sir. Again I will solve it in 2 methods. Whichever the method you are comfortable, please follow that method. Now let us first understand the question. The angle of elevation of the top of a tower from a point on the ground is 30 degrees. That means there is a tower. This tower I will name it as AB. Angle of elevation of the top of the tower. This is the top of the tower from a point on the ground. This is the ground. Ground is BC. From this point on the ground, point C, the angle of elevation is 30 degrees. Yes, this is what my first statement is saying. Yes, I understood my first statement. Move on to the second statement. On walking 100 meters towards the tower, that means This is the tower. AB is the tower. I am at this point right now called as C. On walking, I kept on walking like this. I kept on walking. 100 meters is what I have walked right now. On walking 100 meters towards the tower, so that means DC value is 100 meters. The angle of elevation changes to 60 degrees. This angle will become now as 60 degrees. Find the height of the tower. Height of the tower is AB. I will call it as H. I will have to find the height of this tower. Now see here, sir. Again I want to show you the importance of method 2. For you to understand the importance of method 2, I should also solve by using method 1. Now, there are two triangles in this case. One triangle, angle B is 90 degree anyway. One triangle is the bigger triangle ABC. Another triangle is the smaller inside triangle ABD. Now, take any triangle. If I take triangle ABD, in triangle ABD, tangent of 60, opposite side is nothing but ABH. Adjacent side is nothing but BD. BD I don't know. I will call it as X. This is by method 1, so I am using variables, which is your textbook method. H by X is tan 60. Tan 60 value is root 3. So I can say that X is nothing but H by root 3. X is nothing but H by root 3. This is my first equation, right? Similarly, I have another triangle to work out with. The second triangle is the bigger triangle. That is nothing but ABC. If I take triangle ABC, for ABC, the angle is 30 degrees. So tangent of 30, tan 30 is opposite by adjacent. Opposite is H again. Adjacent is BC. For a bigger triangle, adjacent side is BC. BC is nothing but X plus 100, right? It is X plus 100. What is tan 30 value? It is nothing but 1 by root 3. That means if I cross multiply and simplify, this becomes root 3 into H. Root 3H is equal to X plus 100 into 1. It is X plus 100. But I know X value as H by root 3. Back substitute. Let me use this equation in my next screen, sir. So I will write that equation once again if you want to. Root 3H is equal to X plus 100. But X value is nothing but H by root 3. Back substitute. H by root 3 plus 100. LCM if I take root 3H is equal to root 3 is the LCM. H plus 100 root 3. Cross multiply this root 3. Root 3 into root 3 is 3. 3H is equal to H plus 100 root 3. 3H minus H is 2H. 2H is equal to 100 root 3. H value is 100 by 2 is 50. 50 root 3 meters. The question is, find the height of the tower, which I called it as H, and that is what I got in this particular method 1 also. So method 1 is giving me the answer as 50 root 3. And if you observe method 1, which I definitely want you to observe, I applied tan 60 initially and I got one equation. Again for another right angle triangle, I applied tangent of that particular angle 30. I got another equation. I solved both the equation. I simplified. Yes, after some time I definitely got my answer. Thank God I got after some time at least. This is a lengthy process, sir. This is a lengthy process which you should kill from your mind and start using method 2, which is nothing but ANC way of solving. Method 1 is the textbook way of solving. Method 2 is ANC way of solving. Quickly I want to draft that diagram once again for you people. This is nothing but the tower. The tower is nothing but AB. This is the right angle triangle, the 90 degrees. Initially, at point C from ground, it is making 30 degrees angle. And then after moving for 100 meters, towards the towards the object, so angle of elevation now becomes 60 degrees. These are all something which is given in the question. Find the height AB is the question, right? Find the height AB is the question. Now see here, sir, this is what exactly this is what I want to teach you people from method 2 so beautifully. Just by drafting diagram you can solve it. Now if I take this smaller triangle ABD, this is 90, this is 60, so this should be 30 units, right? This should be 30 units. Now think little logically. I told you that 30, 60 and 90 opposite to 30. If I assume it as 1 unit, if I assume BD value as 1 unit, if I assume BD as 1 unit, then opposite to 60 AB value will be root 3 unit. If I assume BD as 1 unit, AB will be root 3 unit. Now that is for a smaller triangle. Go for a bigger triangle ABC. Now same logic, sir. Bigger triangle ABC, if I take, this angle is 30 degrees, this is 90, this entire thing is 60 degrees, right? This entire thing is 60 degrees. Now think little logically in the same fashion, sir. You will get the answer very easily. If I think little logically in the same fashion, opposite to 30, it is, so this is again 30, 60 and 90 degree triangle itself. So I can definitely say that opposite to 30, if I assume it as 1 unit, opposite to 60 will be how much? It will be root 3 unit, right? It will be root 3 unit. But in this particular case, I can say that that means I am writing like this, sir. Think little logically. I am writing it very, very carefully for you. So I can say that opposite to 30, if it is 1 unit, if I assume this as 1 unit, but this is actually root 3, but it has to be 1 unit. Root 3 should become 1. That means divide by root 3, right? Root 3 by root 3 only will become 1, right? It will become 1. Opposite to 60 is, this entire thing should become root 3, right? This entire thing should become root 3. That means root 3 by root 3 once again. This also has become 1, right? This also has become 1 right now. That means this entire thing, this also, sorry, it is not root 3 by root 3 in this case, sir. It is root 3 into root 3. So this entire thing is 3 units. So this is 1 unit. So this should be another 2 units. But it is actually 100. Multiply by 50. Multiply by 50. Multiply by 50. Answer is 50 root 3. Simple way of analyzing, sir. I hope the idea is very clear for you people. If needed, I will explain one more time, because these are all the kind of questions which we will take it in the upcoming problems. So if needed, I will definitely explain one more time for you method 2, so that we can solve that question very easily. First analyze for a minute, sir. I want you to see this diagram and analyze it for a minute, so that it becomes easy for you.